Sponsored by Black Magic Design, the world's highest quality products for the feature film, post and broadcast industries. blackmagicdesign.com.
Things Will Be Different was one of the best movies I've seen this year. Really amazing concept. It starts out with a phone call, a brother and sister. They've just successfully committed a robbery and they have to take the money and lay low. He's got a line on a safe house that's a farmhouse out on the edge of town. They get there, and then he follows instructions in a book that was given to him by the person who told him about the house. And they set some clocks, and they go into a room, and they pick up a phone, and they say some things, and they hang up the phone. They come out of the room, they're in a different timeline entirely. They're in a place outside of time, and it's this portal. And they just got to lay low for 2 weeks. They have a refrigerator stocked, meal plan stocked. And if they close the door and open it again, it restocks. They've got cabinets full of booze. They've got everything they need. And they just got to hang out for 2 weeks. So they hang out for 2 weeks. And then day 14 comes and they go back to the door to go through to reset the portal. And it's blocked. It says, go to the mill. And they go to the mill outside, and that's when they discover they can't get out. The people who created the portal say, look, there's an interloper out there using our portal, leaving destruction in their wake. We can't track them. We can't find them. If you find them and stop them, we'll send you home. Another year goes by where they're waiting for this. The sister is desperate to get home to her daughter. Tensions are high. It's the mood of the film is just claustrophobic. There's a great score by Jimmy LaValle of the album Leaf that really just helps ratchet up the tension. The interloper does finally arrive, and once they start to reveal something about themselves, I'm like, I know who that is. I was able to figure it out, but I'm not going to tell you. But the conclusion is labyrinthine, it kind of wraps around on itself, and just a really great, it takes a lot of investment on the viewer's part to buy into the conceit right away, in the same sense that the characters on screen have to buy into it right away. But if you agree and take the ride, you're in for a real treat. It was a really awesome movie.
Weird.
Yes.
That sounds so, I'm trying to imagine what you're talking about, but it's probably one of the movies you just have to see.
Yes.
I'm having David Lynch flashbacks. But is it like clear, or are you confused? Like what? Because do things sort of that you feel like you're sort of out to sea with the film, or do they kind of tell you what the rules are, and are you able to get it, or do you have to work to get it?
You do have to work to get it. It is a film that pays off your commitment to the film. And there are some things that aren't explained. However, I will say one thing I really liked about this film was there was an early setup where you saw an item, like a Chekhov's gun type thing, and then it did come into play later, which is something that didn't happen in All You Need Is Death. The character of Alex was Russian, and they never explained where he came from or why. And he had a stutter that didn't go anywhere. This isn't Chekhov's stutter. This doesn't make sense. Things Will Be Different is meticulously crafted, tautly paced, and yes, you can wrap your head around it. And it is worth it to wrap your head around. They don't explain everything, but they give you enough of a structure for you to believe in what's happening.
I mean, I mentioned David Lynch. Did that evoke Lynch for you as well, or?
Yeah, I could see, especially with the labyrinthine nature of the story, kind of a Lost Highway kind of thing. Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to say too much because the film is the ride. But I will say watch it.
I always have, so I have this thing with like Lynchian type constructions. So, do you remember the film Mulholland Drive?
Yes.
Where were you on Mulholland Drive? Love it, hate it?
Um, I enjoyed the ride. I wouldn't say I knew what happened during the ride. That was like, it's like when you ride the Joker ride at Six Flags and it just beats your head between the headrests and gives you a concussion. You're like, that was fun. Was it?
This is my caution because so I watched Mulholland Drive. I had it on VHS, I think, at the time. I rented it and I watched it and I thought I was paying attention to it. Like I thought I was like I thought I like oh yeah. And then when it just kind of ends, I went, "Wait, I I must have missed something. What happened?" So I immediately rewound it and played it again. I watched it twice in a row. And then when I discovered I still didn't know what the hell was going on, my thought was that Lynch had made the film and cut out all the parts that made the plot make sense.
And kept him for himself,
And then critics were like, "It's genius."
right?
And I was
Like,
like,
what's happening? He's like, no, it's mine.
I was like, "You don't know what it means either. You're just saying that so you don't look stupid." This isn't one of those movies, is it?
No, I don't think so. I don't. Now there's a discussion to be had if you watch it with friends at the end, in terms of how deep down the rabbit hole the film went, and that's open for discussion. But the film itself, I have a cat. The film itself, I think, is pretty encapsulated. I think. Despite the labyrinthine journey, it is very self-contained and concise.
So this sounds more like science fiction-y. Where is this on your scareometer?
Again, there's a lot of tension, and there's a lot of the unknown. So I would give it like a 1.5, but definitely more of a thinker than a scarer.
This is the BTRP Media Network.